Hey everyone, Shawn Carey with Migration Productions, and welcome back to another episode of Exploring the Natural World. Today, we're actually going to take a look at a video that I recorded back in July when I was back home visiting some family in Erie, Pennsylvania. And we're going to take a look at Presque State Park, a fabulous state park in Erie, which I spent a lot of time at as a kid. I really enjoyed my time down there, although most of that time was actually spent at the beach, not exploring really the natural world when I was that young. But anyway, I thought I would take you on a little adventure and explore Presque State Park via my kayak. And originally I thought I was going to do it as a one long video, but I realized that just wasn't going to work too well. So I've actually cut this up into two sections. So this is part one that we're going to look at today. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos here on Exploring the Natural World. Leave a comment below as well. And if you got any suggestions for any future videos, like to hear that as well. So hope you enjoy this video. Here we go, Presque State Park by kayak this past July. Enjoy. Hi everyone, I'm here at Presque State Park, as I mentioned in the opener. I'm at the foot of the bay here. As soon as you enter the park, there's an area here that's very nice for kayaking. So I thought I would take the kayak out here this morning and start to show you Presque State Park. I'm going to do this over the course of a few different mornings and afternoons, and then piece this whole video together to kind of give you a good view of what Presque State Park is like. If you've watched my Myakka River State Park video, you know how I feel about that particular park in Florida. Presque State Park, I think, has a little bit in common with Myakka River State Park. The thing that I think is interesting about both of them, if you're at Myakka, that's really the crown jewel of that particular state park system in Florida, I believe. And if you're here at Presque State Park in Erie, Pennsylvania, I think this is not only the crown jewel of the state parks in Pennsylvania, but certainly the crown jewel of state parks really in this area. You know, we're at the very northern tip of Pennsylvania, right on the shores of Lake Erie. I'm in the bay here right now. As soon as you enter the park, which is just to my right, the foot of the bay here, there's some nice areas here with some reeds, cattails. Unfortunately, there's some Phragmites that's starting to get in there, which is invasive. But this is a nice location here to see wood duck. You could get least bittern in here. I was out kayaking the other day and had least bittern. Moorhen, I believe it's nesting back in here. I heard them. I got a great blue heron over here. Things start to move along during the day. I won't be surprised if we see an osprey in this area. Might even get a Caspian tern, so lots of stuff to see. It's a beautiful morning to be out here and kayaking. Just a little bit more on this area here just as you enter the park. Last year and again this year there were nesting prothonotary warblers. I can't imagine that they nest much further north than this because, I mean, Lake Erie is the other side of the peninsula here, so they'd have to end up in Canada from here, of course. They put up some nest boxes apparently last year after they nested, and apparently my understanding is they did nest this year and successfully fledged some young, which is very cool. Okay, let's get out of here. And we'll continue our search for the elusive least bittern and moorhen. So for this video, like I said, we're going to check out a few other locations. I'm going to head over to the Waterworks so we can take a look at the green heron family that's nesting there. Again, there's 5 young. They're out kind of exploring now, so we've got some flies that are biting. We're going to also head over to the area where the map turtles hang out. That's a great location if you're interested in checking out these particular turtles that you can see here in this park. Sometimes you can get huge numbers of these map turtles as they're sunning themselves on some of the logs that are put out for them. And then finally, I think what we'll do is we'll go over to the lagoons where I've been doing some kayaking in the afternoon. And we'll take a look at that location, which is really just a fabulous place to go kayaking and really a great place for birding. And if you have a kayak, that's really the best way to access it, is to get in there by kayak. But let's continue to look for our elusive least bittern or moorhen and see what we come up with there. So I just got my camera out because there was an osprey. Oh, he's right in front of me. Oh, he might have just caught something. Let's see, he's circling. No, he did not. Oh, I got the sun right in my eyes. Yep, so this osprey is circling. I'm gonna go check out these reeds over here Maybe I can get this osprey on the other side of me with the sun. That would be nice. Shades on. Some very big fish jumping right now in front of me. Whoa! Lots of fish. Back here. Oh, there's 2 ospreys now out here hunting. That's nice, and lots of swallows starting to get up. Be surprised if I hear a martin here pretty soon flying overhead. Okay, I thought I would take you over just to see these purple martin colony here. These 3 different poles with the gourds and the houses, a little bit at a distance, but unfortunately there's this generator or something back here that's humming, so that's going to detract from it, but hopefully you can hear some of the martins now. And there are a lot of them hanging out, so there's probably a lot of younger ones just fledged, plus the adults that are here. They're coming in and out. Here comes another one flying in. Yeah, they're kind of all over the place now. This is great. Lots of martins. They're just circling all over the place here. God, there must be, I don't know, just a quick look here. There's got to be 30 or 40 of them that I'm just seeing naked eye here, and they're, oh my God, they're flying all over the place up here. Jesus, oh, look at them all. Wow, this is really cool. Boy, there are martins everywhere. I wish I could somehow show you this, but it's just impossible to capture this on video, unfortunately. Yeah, they're all over the place here. Oh, there's another at least 20 or 30 of them up here, plus all the ones that are at the houses that they have up for them, on the gourds and the houses. More of them flying over right up in front of the boat here now. Oh, this is great. Lots of martins. Lots of martins. Unfortunately, that generator that's humming is really kind of detracting from this, I think. But yeah, very cool. Lots of martins here. I'm continuing my quest to try and find the elusive least bittern. Lots of nice habitat here for them. I did have one the other afternoon when I was out here kayaking. There's a marsh wren over here calling. There's several marsh wrens. They're here. Trying to find them. Lots of good habitat for least bittern. Trying to find one, that's a different story. You forget how small, how tiny really a least bittern is until you see one fairly close. Then you realize it's like, wow, that's not a particularly big bird, you know? One thing I do when I come out on the kayak, anytime I come out on a kayak, is if I see trash, I do my best to pick it up. It's unavoidable, no matter where you go, unfortunately. And right now, got a piece of a child's sandal there, flip-flop. Here is a nip bottle. There's another one right up here. I don't understand why people can't take care of their own trash. You saw my Mass Audubon Birdathon video. I talked about that very briefly. It was a little rant I did. Can we please just stop with the friggin' trash already? All right. By the way, this area here that I'm in is loaded with, I don't know my fish very well, unfortunately. I don't fish. But it's some sort of a gar, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. But man, they are everywhere. As I was slowly going through, you would see them right at the top of the water. As I got a little bit too close, whoosh, down they would go, and you'll see these big splashes. And that's what's going on. So I'm gonna have to look that one up online to see exactly what that species is. But man, this place is loaded with them right in here in this kind of heavy vegetation. Out in the open water, I didn't see them. So clearly they're kind of lurking in here, hunting. So very cool to see that. I would absolutely encourage you to check out Presque State Park if you're anywhere in the area, or plan a trip here as well. Again, great place for wildlife viewing, for photography, biking trails, hiking trails. You really can't go wrong here at Presque Isle. I think the folks here do a pretty good job in managing this park. There's restrooms throughout the park, so you don't have to worry about that. That's a nice feature. Pack a lunch, even a dinner for that matter. As you enter the park, there's some concession up there. There's a couple restaurants you can grab a bite to eat, get yourself an ice cream. It's just a fantastic place to spend the day or the afternoon. If you own a kayak, you absolutely want to bring that, because there's lots of areas you can explore with a kayak that you otherwise would not have access to. So I would encourage you to do that. And we can hear our marsh wren that's been calling back here the whole time I've been talking about this. He's really going at it. Some moorhen calling back here. Just heard it. Wow. I don't know if the microphone picked that up, but I just had a moorhen back here, which is where I had it about a week ago when I was here. I'm just going to slide over here a little bit. This give me a good opportunity just to talk a little bit more about some of the bird species to be found here in the park. Early to mid-April, and I like to come in mid-April, can be very good here at the park. There's a pair of great horned owls that have nested very close to the road, kind of midway down the peninsula. From where you park your car to where the owls are, it can't be more than 30 seconds to a minute walk. I mean, it's like right there. And it's right off a bike path. So again, I'm not like telling any trade secrets or tuning you into something that really I shouldn't be doing, because this is very common knowledge in the area. Lots of birders and photographers over the last 4 or 5 years have been here to photograph those particular owls. Like I said, it's right off a bike path. It's, kind of roped off, from the bike path. They don't want people going any closer, which thankfully people are very good about not doing. They don't go any closer. They stay on the bike path. I know I do when I photograph them. So that's something you might want to keep in mind for next year if you're interested in photographing these pair of great horned owls. When that old dead snag that they're nesting in falls over, which is going to be, probably sometime in the next couple of years. I mean, I can't imagine that thing's going to hang on much longer. It'll be a sad day not only for the owls, but for all the people that have been able to watch these owls over the years. So that's one little tip. For other species, again, in mid-April, I've done quite well with common loon here, horned grebe in breeding plumage, and the loons are also in breeding plumage, by the way, as well. And this is all from land. You can photograph these in a couple locations. So that's something to keep in mind. Good numbers of Bonaparte's gulls as well. You can also get pretty decent numbers of Caspian terns, and they tend to come in waves when I've been here, but I've had as many as 40 or 50 Caspian terns in one day here in April, so that's something to keep in mind. I think you can get those right up into May as well. In addition to that, lots of ducks here in the spring still that are moving through. You can get ruddy duck and scaup. In the fall, you get good numbers of coot. I'm sure you can also definitely get bufflehead. I've seen lots of bufflehead. You get those in the spring as well, and golden eye. Again, just lots of waterfowl that can be had here. It's good activity for birding and for bird photography as far as that's concerned. You've heard these marsh wrens back here. Not easy to photograph those, but they're certainly here in the park. So again, it's just a great place for birding, for bird photography, for wildlife observation. In terms of mammal species, there's lots of deer in the park. Beaver, there's several of these beaver lodges you can see throughout the park if you explore, particularly by kayak. And I was able to photograph one yesterday down at the Waterworks, and we'll take a look at that moving forward. So again, I would encourage you to come out to the park, explore the park, particularly if you have a kayak, bring a kayak, because you can get into areas that you normally would not have access to otherwise, but there's good bike paths. You can drive the loop around the park itself. Just explore it as much as you want. Okay, so we're wrapped up for this section of the video here at the head of the bay. Had a nice morning here, got to see lots of species, including we heard that moorhen behind me and this marsh wren that's just been going on the entire time. I think you can hear them. The ospreys and the purple martins and the tree swallows, and it's really been a nice morning to be out here on the water. But let's move on down the road. Let's go check out the Waterworks. That's going to be our next stop. Going to take a look at that green heron family that's been hanging around. There's 5 young. They're out on the branches now moving around, so it's not going to be long before those birds are gone and there's no more photographic opportunities, and it's right next to the road, so we want to check that out. So let's head over to the Waterworks. Let's check it out. Here we go. The reason I'm here this morning is there is a green heron nest that's to my left that is very near the road. So a lot of photographers and birders have been coming down and checking out these green herons over the past several weeks, starting to get out of the nest now and explore. I believe there's 5 of them. Now there's some photographers down here right now, and I'm going to go over and check it out. So behind me on the other body of water, the other part of the Waterworks pond here, there's a couple purple martin posts with gourds and nest box houses for them. So there's a good colony of purple martins over there as well. Check out, but there's always nice things here to see. I've had red-headed woodpeckers that I've photographed on either side here. There was a fox den that's been over to my right in the past. You get green heron and great blue herons here. In the summer you can see lots of yellow warblers calling right now. I think I heard some common yellowthroats, and I can hear the swallows overhead. We're going to go over and check out this green heron nest and see if we can't get a few photos and maybe some video of them, and be kind of cool. Yeah, there's a couple of photographers here right now. My buddy Brian is in the kayak. He's been bringing his kayak out, but from the side of the road there, they nested very near the road. You can get a good view of them. See if the parents are coming in and feeding them and all. See what these young ones are doing when they're exploring. So one of the things I do when I'm out on the kayak, when I see fishing line and other fishing tackle and bobbers and those sorts of things, I track them down and get them out of the water. I just pulled 2 out, and there's a third one right here, which I'm just about to get. There it is, right there. Fishing line and lure with a hook. Oh geez, this is really bad. You get these herons or egrets or other birds over here. They get caught up in this. Not good. So this one we're gonna get out of here. This one is really bad. Look at that. Gotta be careful I don't hook myself. You get a bird over here, get caught up in this, get hooked by this. Yeah, they'd be in big trouble. A lot of line here. Plus the hook, that's even worse. And the filament line is bad enough. There's another hook down here. Okay, we're gonna call it a morning. Gonna head back, load up the kayak, and see what we can find tomorrow. So did okay out on the kayak, but I decided to bring it in, got it up back up on the roof of the truck, and wanted to try to get some better photo and video of this green heron family from land, which worked out to be much better. You know, on the tripod with the 600, it just worked out much better. So I was very patient, got down with some of the other photographers and birders that were down there, and got myself into a good position. And sure enough, these green herons made their way down, you know, low to the water, and we're doing some exploring, figuring out what it is to be a green heron. So that worked out quite well. And as you see in some of these photos and the video that I'm rolling now, it's just really cool to spend time with the species and see these young birds as they're learning to be green herons. You know, an opportunity like this doesn't last very long, so you definitely want to take advantage of it when you can. The fact that they nested so close to the road is amazing. It gave a really good opportunity for all sorts of birders and photographers to spend a lot of time and observe them and photograph them, and in my case, get some nice video of them. So as the general public would be driving by in their cars or bicycles or whatever, you know, they would see all these birders and photographers down there and they'd say, hey, you know, what are you folks looking at? And it was nice that not just myself, but everybody down there was very happy to be able to share with the public, you know, what was going on. You know, the fact that there's this green heron family nested very close to the road, and here's these 5, you know, young green herons, and everybody would point them out. And folks that really knew nothing about bird life at all would get very excited about seeing these young green herons as they're out exploring. So that was nice to be able to share that. So again, turned out to be a really good morning here at Waterworks with this green heron family. We want to continue to explore some more of Presque State Park. So we're going to move on down to the head of the lagoon. We're going to see if we can check out the map turtles, maybe see some other species of turtles, and who knows what else we'll find, but that's part of the adventure. So let's move on down the road and see what we can find. Here we go. Well, there you go. There's part 1 of my exploring Presque State Park in Erie, Pennsylvania. Stick around for part 2, which is going to come up in a few weeks. As always, remember, please help protect wildlife and help protect wild places. Cheers.